you even put into words what just happened?
I mean, we worked so hard, and I think I'm just so proud of our group for staying with it. I mean, it's just insane that like we're playing in the semifinals. I mean, we believed it, but there's so many people out there that didn't. And so we got another series. Decided to play some more games in Cambridge, but right now we're just stoked and excited, and I'm looking forward to the next step.
Indiana Fever just advanced to the WNBA Semifinals for the first time in nearly a decade, and it all came down to Lexie Hull crushing the Atlanta Dream in a jaw-dropping finish.
Oh my God, I'm nervous. Ryan Howard. And she passed. Lexie with the game-winning stop. Lexie with the game-winning stop. Elton!
But here's the real question. How did a team missing 6 players, haunted by officiating controversies, and written off by almost everyone, manage to deliver the most dramatic win of the season? Let's set the stage.
Well, Stephanie White goes 44 regular season games, failing to give us a comeback victory, only to wait for when it mattered the most as the Indiana Fever come back late in the fourth quarter and defeat the Atlanta Dream. We are moving on to the semifinals. We are either facing the Aces or the Storm. Storm would be a phenomenal matchup for this Indiana Fever team. We have their number this season. Aaliyah Boston came through when she needed to. Odyssey Sims passed the ball when she needed to. Natasha Howard in double digits. Lexie Hull showing up to the party. Money Mitch.
Nearly 10 years had passed since the Indiana Fever last won a playoff series. Back then, Tamika Catchings was still the franchise's heartbeat. Natasha Howard was just starting her career, and Stephanie White was in her first stint as head coach. That was 2015. Since then, the Fever endured years of frustration, empty seats, and heartbreak. This Game 3 wasn't just about basketball, it was about breaking a curse. And the odds couldn't have been worse. Caitlin Clark sidelined, Sophie Cunningham out, Sydney Colson unavailable, multiple others injured, 6 players down in total. No one outside the locker room gave them a chance. But instead of collapsing under the weight of bad luck and pressure, the Fever turned that into fuel. They had nothing to lose, and that desperation became their weapon. It showed right from the opening tip. Kelsey Mitchell carried the offense like a player possessed. Every time Atlanta tried to cut her off, she found a way through.
The field, now she has second chance, banked in by Alicia Gray. This is how quickly Kelsey Mitchell can get down the floor.
24 points on the night, 19 of them before halftime. She was the steady heartbeat that refused to stop. When defenders swarmed her lanes, she adjusted, dropping assists, blocks, and hustle plays that kept Indiana alive. Then there was Aaliyah Boston, the rising star who anchored the paint like she was born for it.
Team from the floor in Game 2, that's terrific. Hull into Boston.
Matched against Bree Jones, she took hit after hit, yet never lost her composure. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. But the numbers don't capture how she controlled the game.
It really looked like both players took each other out.
Inside, Boston. The pass from Howard.
Every rebound was in traffic. Every assist came under pressure. Every possession she battled felt like an act of defiance.
Maybe a little higher than that, 45.
Boston turns. Well defended, but 3 red jerseys around her, and Aaliyah still finishes.
Natasha Howard chipped in with relentless hustle, saving possessions that should have belonged to the Dream.
Dribbles behind the line to take the 3. Howard with the one-handed rebound and putback.
Oh my goodness. I mean, watch this rebound come off under your screen. Jordan Canada's arm.
Odyssey Sims added the fire, attacking defenders head-on, pouring in 16 points and 8 assists. A player who hadn't been with the roster all season suddenly looked like she'd been their leader all along.
As Howard could not get it to grow. Odyssey Sims, this is what head coach Stephanie White wants from Odyssey.
And it wasn't just the stars. Brianna Turner stepped in, blocking shots and locking down lanes.
It's a bucket. They look to her, and she's wanting the ball as well with the last 4 for Atlanta.
Aerial Powers, even in limited minutes, sparked life into the lineup with her energy and grit.
Big block by Powers. Good help side by Aerial Powers.
This wasn't a one-woman show. It was an army of role players refusing to fold. Still, the dream pushed back. Gateway Center Arena was deafening, with nearly 4,000 fans roaring, waiting for Indiana's collapse. Every possession felt heavier, every whistle stung deeper, especially after the frustrations of Game 1, where bad calls and technicals had tilted the scales. That bitterness carried into this night, fueling the fever. And through it all, one player was quietly battling her own nightmare, Lexie Hull. All night, shot after shot rimmed out. Open looks wouldn't drop. Her rhythm disappeared, replaced by visible frustration. For a shooter who thrives on spacing the floor, it was agony. But here's where the story flipped. With under 30 seconds left, trailing by 1, Kelsey Mitchell slashed to the hoop with her signature burst, laying it in off a feed from Boston. The game tightened, the tension spiked, and Indiana clung to life.
Boston for the lead. She hits it. Indiana goes up.
Boston gets it. Mitchell is denied, but then Jordan Canada falls. Bree Jones almost gets it, but that's the second defender that's gone down in Bree Jones.
Moments later, the ball swung to Hull, the same Hull who hadn't been able to buy a basket all night. She rose, released, and buried the three. Redemption in a single shot.
It has worked for Kelsey Mitchell, but that time she gives it up to Hull. And how about that shot by Lexie Hull?
But the drama wasn't done. 7 seconds remained. Atlanta had the ball, their season on the line. Everyone expected a clean inbound and one last chance to win. But Hull read it differently. Eyes locked, instincts sharp, she lunged forward, intercepting the pass with a game-saving steal. That single play didn't just end the game, it ended a decade of waiting.
Dream 85. Howard's inbound pass stolen by Hull. Passes to Boston in the backcourt. 3 seconds to go. Sims gets it and is fouled. The Fever are up 86-85 with 1.2 left.
The Indiana Fever were finally heading back to the semifinals. When the buzzer sounded, chaos turned to joy. 10 years of scars and silence snapped in half. Kelsey Mitchell hugged her teammates, tears of relief and pride in her eyes. Aaliyah Boston sat quietly, overwhelmed, the weight of history crashing over her. And Lexie Hull, the player who struggled all night but delivered the winning shot and steal, clutched the game ball like it was gold. Even Caitlin Clark, forced to watch in street clothes, couldn't contain her emotions. She waved towels, shouted encouragement, and after the game posted in all caps, "Fever Show." Injured or not, she was still part of this fight. Head coach Stephanie White gathered her team, reminding them that this was only step one. Waiting for them is the Las Vegas Aces, the defending champions, stacked with Aja Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young. Becky Hammon even issued a warning. You haven't seen the real Aces yet.
Dropped 2 of the 3 games to them this year, but you haven't seen them since late July. What excites you about that matchup?
That they haven't seen the real Aces yet. They caught us when we were at a bit in turmoil. Not only that, they whooped us one of those stretches. So, you know what, we'll buckle in, hone in where we can, and take care of business. But I know everybody's super excited about tonight, which I am too, but like I gotta get our hard hats on and get these guys prepped and ready for what's coming next.
That's the mountain the Fever now face. But on this night, none of that mattered. This win wasn't about advanced stats or scouting reports. It was about heart. About 6 players being out, bad officiating still fresh in their minds, and a franchise carrying a decade-long drought. It was about resilience. And when the moment demanded a hero, Lexie Hull answered. So here's the big question. Is this just the start of a Cinderella run, or will the Las Vegas Aces remind the Fever just how tough championship basketball can be? Let us know in the comments how proud you are of this team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter of this incredible journey.
I don't know when these people are gonna learn their lesson. It's right there in your face. It's right there in your face. It's clear to us the WNBA
does not appreciate fans, don't want us there. We have been thrown out of games for a multitude of ridiculous things. We have watched these players complain and trash us all. They called half of us racist. They've called all types of stuff. All types of stuff. Now, without Caitlin Clark, the viewership has been cut in half by 50%.
The Atlanta Dream thought they could rewrite the story of the WNBA playoffs. On national television, Alicia Gray pointed into the stands at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, accusing a Fever fan of crossing the line.
Well, let's do a follow-up to Alyssa Gray getting a Fever fan kicked out of the arena. By the way, said Fever fan, it was a guy and his wife there to enjoy a nice sporting event. Now, I've got a theory that these WNBA players that's played in this league for a while, number one, we know it to be so. They're not used to actual sports fans. I believe they're used to their fans that used to come to these games before they slowly are getting eased out the door by actual sports fans. They're used to these being social events, all right? And so they're not there. They're not actually basketball fans. They're just activists.
Security rushed over, fans were escorted out, and for a moment it looked like Indiana's magical playoff run had been hijacked by controversy. But here's the truth. That story collapsed almost instantly. Eyewitnesses revealed the so-called offense was nothing more than a harmless cheer. The fans were allowed back in, the Dream's version of events didn't hold up, and social media torched Atlanta for lying.
She got a fan kicked out last night against the Indiana Fever, only for the fan to speak their piece to the security. Security found out, oh, you didn't say anything at all, actually. Yeah, come back to your seat. Let me just wipe that seat off for you. Here, please, have a seat, ma'am.
While the Dream scrambled to control the narrative, the Indiana Fever let their play do the talking. Because just days later, Indiana didn't just silence the Dream's accusations, they silenced their season. With Caitlin Clark out, with Sophie Cunningham sidelined, with their roster battered, the Fever still pulled off an 87-85 thriller in Atlanta. Aaliyah Boston's game-winning layup with 7 seconds left didn't just end the series, it ended the excuses.
Into Boston for the lead. She hits it. Indiana goes up.
When Alicia Gray singled out that Fever fan, it was supposed to send a message. The implication was clear: disrespect Atlanta's star and you'd be thrown out. But instead of rallying support, it blew up in the Dream's face. Eyewitness accounts spread fast. The so-called heckle was actually encouragement for Lexie Hull. "You're good, Lex. She's not even trying anymore." That's what set Gray off. No slurs, no threats, just standard playoff chatter.
I'm gonna go ahead and read it out loud. Basically, this anonymous individual was sitting close to the incident and ended up giving up everything that was said. So let's go ahead and see what this individual typed. They said the guy in the black hat yelled to Lexie Hull, who was running to guard Gray, and said, "You're good, Lex. She's not even trying anymore." Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. Gray lost her S and said some very nasty words to the guy and the people next to him. The guy did not say anything out of line whatsoever. They were let back shortly after. When asked what happened, they said it was protocol to remove the fan to allow the player to calm down. Really? Gray had a bad night, and there is no excuse for the things she said or the way she acted. Oh, man.
Security even apologized and escorted the fans back to their seats. The narrative cracked right there. If the comment had been serious, those fans never returned. And as the story unraveled, the spotlight shifted. Clips of the incident went viral. Commentators questioned why a playoff team was more focused on policing fans than winning games.
You said something mean to me. You said something mean. You said I couldn't make... And then Alicia Gray goes straight to Ryan Howard. "Alicia, it's okay. It's okay, Alicia. Don't worry about it." I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't last more than 5 minutes in one of these WNBA arenas. I gotta be honest. I would not last long at all in one of these WNBA arenas. They would hate me. They as soon as tip off, him, get him out of here. Get him out of here. He said I can't jump. Get him out of here. He said I can't dribble. Get him out of here. I'm sorry. Alicia Gray getting this fan kicked out, and of course, the internet went ablaze.
By the next morning, it wasn't the Fever's supporters under fire. It was the Dream's professionalism. Meanwhile, Indiana kept building momentum. Game 3 in Atlanta was win or go home. Caitlin Clark was out for the season. Sophie Cunningham was sidelined. Depth was an issue. On paper, Indiana should have folded. Instead, they played like a team with nothing to lose. From the opening tip, the Fever sent a message. Kelsey Mitchell carried the offense, attacking off the dribble, burying threes, and keeping Indiana alive whenever Atlanta tried to pull away.
2. Mitchell over the Boston screen.
And that was tough. Her hands, but going back to that ball screen here, little movement in the first part of that screen by Aaliyah Boston.
She finished with 24 points, fearless, efficient, and locked in when it mattered most. Aaliyah Boston set the tone inside. Every possession she carved out space, grabbed rebounds, and battled against Atlanta's bigs. She didn't just put up numbers, she kept Indiana steady in the most hostile environment they'd faced all season. 14 points, 12 rebounds, and as we'd soon see, the most important basket of the Fever's decade. But what truly separated Indiana was their role players. Natasha Howard turned in a gritty two-way performance, disrupting the Dream's offense while scoring in the paint.
Circles behind the line to take the 3. Howard with the one-handed rebound and putback.
Oh my goodness. I mean, watch this rebound come off under your screen. Jordan Canada's arm.
Lexie Hull knocked down shots and dove for every loose ball.
That ball screen has worked for Kelsey Mitchell, but that time she gives it up to Hull. And how about that shot by Lexie Hull?
Odyssey Sims orchestrated the pace, setting up teammates and delivering clutch assists.
And now Sims gets it over to Howard, challenged by Hillman, even though she has the 3 fouls.
Third quarter, the Indiana Fever have come out with an edge. Here, Atlanta turns it over. Odyssey Sims take it over. Pass to Howard for the bucket.
And even from the bench, the energy was relentless. Every defensive stand, every hustle play, the Fever bench erupted like they were playing too.
Big block by Powers. Good help side by Ariel Powers.
Atlanta, by contrast, looked distracted. Yes, they traded buckets. Yes, Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray had moments. But when the game tightened, their composure cracked. They couldn't shake the cloud of controversy. They couldn't match Indiana's urgency. And then came the finish. With less than 10 seconds left, tied at 85, the Fever had one chance. Odyssey Sims fed the ball inside to Aaliyah Boston. The rookie-turned-franchise cornerstone powered through contact and banked in the game winner with 7.4 seconds left.
Boston for the lead, she hits it! Indiana goes up!
Boston gets it. Mitchell is denied, but then Jordan Canada falls. Bree Jones almost gets it, but that's a second defender that's gone down, and Bree Jones.
The arena went silent. On the Fever bench, chaos. Players leapt from their seats. Caitlin Clark, sidelined in street clothes, pumped her fists and screamed with the rest of the team. Sophie Cunningham, also injured, joined the celebration. Atlanta still had a final possession, but Indiana's defense swarmed, forced a tough shot, and secured the rebound as the buzzer sounded. Final score, Fever 87, Dream 85. It wasn't just a win, it was history. For the first time since 2015, the Indiana Fever advanced in the WNBA playoffs. The team stripped of its superstar, written off as too young, too inexperienced, and too undermanned, had just proven everyone wrong. And what about Atlanta? Their season ended with embarrassment. They weren't remembered for their play. They were remembered for ejecting fans and losing composure. In the end, the scoreboard told the only story that mattered. The final buzzer told the truth. Fever 87, Dream 85. Aaliyah Boston stood at center court, surrounded by teammates who refused to let injuries, doubt, or distraction end their season. Kelsey Mitchell, who carried the offense all night, embraced her coach as the crowd of stunned Dream fans looked on. And in the stands, Indiana supporters, the same ones targeted days earlier, screamed louder than ever.
Fever go! Bow, bow, bow! Let's go! Fever! Go Fever!
Let's go Fever! Fever 3!
think about the symbolism. The Atlanta Dream tried to paint Fever fans as a problem, yet those very fans were the heartbeat of Indiana's run. They never backed down, and in the end, it was the Dream's credibility that collapsed, not Indiana's. For the Fever, this wasn't just a playoff win, it was a statement. Their first postseason series victory since 2015. Their proof that even without Caitlin Clark, even without Sophie Cunningham, they could fight, claw, and close out a thriller on the road. For Atlanta, the narrative is harsher. A season overshadowed by a single lie, capped off by a crushing defeat. Instead of a story about resilience, their legacy of this series is distraction. So here's the question. Is this the moment the Fever announce themselves as true contenders? Or will the weight of history catch up to them in the next round? One thing is certain, the scoreboard never lies. If you're still watching, drop Fever Playoff in the comments to let everyone know you believe in this Fever team. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we cover every twist in this unforgettable playoff run.
Look like the Indiana Fever will lose their first playoff game. Guys, we got to talk about this one. What an ugly game, bro. I mean, my goodness. The WNBA referees has made it clear they hate the Indiana Fever. I mean, they hate everything they stand for. They hate to even see their name come across the screen that they even got to ref their games. It's apparent now. There is a clear agenda against the Indiana Fever, and if you do not feel that way or see it, you're a blind man.
Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever were just robbed, and not by their opponents. In Game 1 of the playoffs against the Atlanta Dream, fans witnessed one of the most frustrating officiating performances in recent WNBA history.
I'm tight, man. I'm tight. Indiana Fever got screwed over by the referees today, man. Straight up and down. Straight up and down, bro. I'm not even joking, bro. It's not even funny, bro. The WNBA refs are complete trash. This was trash to the point where Caitlin Clark has to hold back Stephanie White. Who had that on their bingo card for the day? Who had that on their bingo card? This was an embarrassing job of officiating by the WNBA referees. Kathy Engelbert, you are a pure joke.
Head coach Stephanie White couldn't hold back, erupting on the sidelines and even taking a technical foul for saying what every fan at home was already thinking.
So nobody involved with the Indiana Fever was in any way happy with the referees today. Nobody was happy with the referees today because they were shockingly bad. They were shockingly bad. Especially there was one ref that was like way worse than the others. I can't even remember. Like, I'm not gonna look at the referees' names or anything, but they were shocking. They were absolutely shocking. And realistically, we're now looking at an Indiana Fever team who are pretty much done, down and out, and I think the Indiana Fever are just about good enough to hang with this Atlanta Dream team at the best, during their best days. Like, there's no way they can hang with this team when the referees are against them as well.
But was this simply poor refereeing, or was something much darker at play? The game being rigged. The Fever's uphill battle began long before the opening tip. They entered Game 1 missing 6 players. Caitlin Clark was already sidelined with a season-ending groin injury. Chloe Bibby was out with a knee problem. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were gone with their own injuries. Ari McDonald was sidelined with a foot issue. And just 24 hours before the game, Tiara Dantas was placed in concussion protocol. That's 6 rotation players wiped out before the series even started. The injury crisis was so severe that when the Fever brought their entire roster to Atlanta, healthy or not, there weren't even enough seats on the bench. Players in street clothes had to sit in a second row behind the actual team, highlighting just how absurd the situation had become. Yet despite all of this, the Fever came out swinging.
Guarded by Howard. They slide it into Boston, center of the lane, turning and finishing. Aaliyah Boston, beautiful move.
They shocked Atlanta early with a 15-6 run. Kelsey Mitchell drilling shots and Aaliyah Boston dominating the paint. For a moment, it looked like Indiana might pull off the impossible.
He's had a few of those last few possessions. Mitchell, catch, fire, and hit from three. What a start. Rebound hits the floor. Hall keeps it alive for Indiana. Mitchell using the screen, dancing around Griner, and able to squeeze it in off window.
But then the referees decided to take control. The whistle began to dictate everything. Lexie Hull was called for a phantom foul on Ryan Howard despite replay showing no contact.
Taps it behind her back. There's no foul there whatsoever.
Yeah, they're going to challenge.
Stephanie White had to burn a challenge in the first quarter just to get justice for her player. Minutes later, Boston was elbowed in the face. No call. Meanwhile, if Indiana so much as breathed on Atlanta, the whistle blew. By the second quarter, White had already used both of her challenges, a nightmare scenario that proved how badly the referees were missing things.
I mean, now granted, people is going to say, well, y'all going to blame it on the referees, but Aaliyah Boston played bad, Lexie Hall played bad. But at the end of the day, bro, the referees definitely altered the outcome of this game. The Indiana Fever was dominating the first half of the basketball game. Clear as day, putting the beast on them. Now, granted, they did blow across the lead, but it was a very competitive game all the way through the first half. Now, I don't know, but we know that this is kind of an old tune because that's just has been the story of their season. They've been falling apart in these second half series, but I'm telling you right now, the referees definitely played a factor in this one. The Indiana Fever, guys, I don't know. They just cannot catch a break with these damn referees today.
Every defensive stand that should have fueled Indiana's momentum instead turned into free throws for Atlanta. Clean contests called as fouls. Physical play by Atlanta ignored completely.
One, you can see Aaliyah Boston guarding Bree Jones, and then you can see Bree Jones goes up with her right hand and she takes her left hand and kind of pushes Aaliyah Boston's hand away. Now they called the whistle right here saying that Aaliyah Boston hit her arm, but as you can see, Bree Jones is the one who's kind of slapping away Aaliyah Boston's arm. Now they challenged this and Indiana Fever was successful with the call. And there was another play. Now this one on Lexie Hall got me riled up because this was early on in the game and this was probably the best defense that Lexie could have played. If you watch this play here, Ryan Howard is going down, Lexie Hall's guarding her, Ryan goes behind her back, Lexie doesn't touch her because she's backpedaling the whole time, she has her hands straight up. Like, this is really good defense that Lexie played here, and I was screaming about it on the live stream. I was like, Ryan just tripped over her feet, like there wasn't contact there, she absolutely just tripped. If you're gonna call a foul on that little tiny tap on Ryan's arm, then you're gonna have to blow the whistle every 15 seconds in a basketball game. Like, you can't play a basketball game if you can't have any contact at all.
Fans watching at home couldn't believe what they were seeing, and neither could the Fever bench. By the fourth quarter, the tension snapped. Stephanie White erupted after yet another missed call, yelling at the officials before being hit with a technical foul. The arena buzzed with chaos.
She has had enough of what she has seen from the officials here today. Understandable frustration from Stephanie White.
And here's the surreal part. Caitlin Clark, sidelined and unable to play, actually stepped in to calm down her own coach. Even injured, Clark was forced to play peacemaker, as White said what everyone else was already screaming. The refs had stolen the game.
It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Nobody likes to use their challenges in the first half, especially when they're successful.
Lost in the chaos was an incredible performance from Kelsey Mitchell. She dropped 27 points, a playoff career high, shooting almost 50% from the floor and carrying Indiana's offense possession after possession. Every time the Fever's scoring dried up, Mitchell brought it back to life. But her brilliance was overshadowed because no matter how hard she fought, the officiating tilted the game beyond repair. Think about the contrast. Atlanta had waves of players to rotate in. Indiana had grit, tape, and determination. And yet, when the Fever proved they could hang despite everything, the referees inserted themselves and drained the life from the game. Fans weren't asking if the Fever lost. They were asking if the refs stole it. After the final buzzer, the conversation wasn't about Atlanta's stars. It wasn't about Kelsey Mitchell's brilliance. It was about the officiating. Clips of phantom fouls, missed elbows, and Stephanie White's technical exploded online. The word that kept coming up was rigged. Were the referees protecting Atlanta? Were they trying to keep Clark's Fever out of the spotlight? Here's the truth. Indiana may have lost on the scoreboard, but they didn't fold. Despite missing half their roster and facing lopsided officiating, they kept swinging until the final buzzer. That resilience matters. But the questions won't go away. Were they beaten by the dream or by the referees? So now it's your turn. Was this just incompetence or proof that the WNBA is rigged against Caitlin Clark's Fever? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you're still watching, drop Fever Robbed in the chat to show you're part of the real ones keeping the pressure on. Because one thing is clear, fans won't forget how this game was stolen.